Hello, I am Academy. Happy New Year. How long can we say Happy New Year? Until the end of the month or what? But Happy New Year. Day 7, first week into the new year. And this is actually a pop-up live because I didn't have this scheduled out ahead of time, but I was led to um talk about this with the group. So let me get my notes out here so I do not ramble on and keep y'all. I am also running late. I said 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and here I am at 12:25 just now getting on because I did not know my Facebook password. I forgot. Anywho, I had to reset it. So now I'm here with y'all. Let me get my notes out so I don't ramble, and I also give everyone a second to come on, but I will not hold you all long today on a Saturday. Let's see. Notes, pull them up, pull them up. And if y'all hear scampering in the background, it is the grandpup, Cadence. Cadence is in the house, so you may hear him bark, you may hear him scamper around on the floor, but he in the house. Cadence in the house. Let's see. Notes. Let me turn my phone down. Hear all that gloop, gloop, gloop. Alrighty, here we go. All right, boom. We got it. I'm here. You're here. Notes. All right, so this year just feels different to me. It feels like I started my new year in November. I usually do a July hiatus where I just sit back, chill, relax, reset. And I did that. And then August came back with an awesome book study with Latoya, Speak Life, Life Speakers Volume 2. And it was just great. And so I was using that momentum to finish up some of the goals that I had for the year. And so December, I gave myself a big challenge. And the challenge was to run 100 miles, log 100 miles for the month of December. It was very challenging. And so also December was supposed to be a month of rest. So I did rest, but I did also have fun. I went to a 5K in Atlanta, was able to connect with some of my friends there. And so I really enjoyed myself for the month of December. And so coming into January, usually I'm like, vision board, this, and this. And the Lord didn't leave me that way this year. All right. So we got Latoya B. Let me be specific, Burks, because we got all the Latoyas up in our group.
Hello.
Hey, girl. How are you?
I am good. I look. I can't stay for long now. I looked at the time wrong.
No, it wasn't you. It was operator error. I did say 11 o'clock your time, 12 o'clock my time. However, when I logged into Facebook, I didn't know my password.
Uh,
I was on the laptop because usually it's on my phone. So, okay, here I go. I got to reset and all that. And then I had StreamYard, they like, hurry up and get on. So then I had to set the time to 2 o'clock. Anyway, it was operator error. I'm glad you're here. Do you want to share your word?
I do. It's a phrase. So for
Okay.
2023, it's a phrase that I'm repurposing. Right? Is by any means necessary. Right?
Ooh.
So there was a time when my hustle was strong, and that's what got me through it. Right? I set goals. It didn't matter how hard it was. It didn't matter what life threw at me. I was like, this go get done by any means necessary. So I had to repurpose that for this year. because I'm starting this year off differently, and I'm coming in strong. You know, so yeah, that's my phrase.
Latoya, you're saying you're coming in strong, but I believe your momentum already happened in about October, November, to be sure.
It
I mean,
did.
let's talk about this a little bit. How you sort of, I mean, I know people, New Year, all this and that, but you were already doing pre work. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so new year, new me. Yeah, that's nice cliche, right? But it's just that, right? It takes consistency, it takes planning, and because of that, I needed to do exactly that, jump start. I wanted to go into the year already with the momentum. I didn't want to be, well, January 1st is when I'm going to start. No, 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 I need to start now. Life is happening now, bills are happening now, so I don't have time to wait like that. But I needed to have a solid plan. I needed to have, you know how when you set a plan, you got to get used to the things that you're doing. So when you start working out, you have to get used to working out again to keep it up. So what I wanted to do was develop a certain types of habits before the year started. I was looking at some numbers, and um, what I saw is, 34% of Americans live in a household with a six-figure income. So just 100,000. That's it. 34% of Americans. And 100K don't is not the same as it was years ago. And so because I forgot what percentage of that, but there's a certain, and it's pretty high. I want to say it's like 50% of those 34% that are still living paycheck to paycheck, right? And so what I was looking at my income for the last few years. And last few years, I've been going through a lot: depression, grief, dealing with other mental illnesses. And but what I saw is, even with me not being as consistent as I usually be, even with me not giving it 100% like I usually give, my income was still like 90 some thousand. And that was all me. That wasn't me working a job or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I could hit 100K, right? I could do that. I should have been done that. So I was like, okay, so we gonna do this by any means necessary, right? And so that is one of my goals, but I want to surpass that, but I need to at least hit that milestone first, and I know I can. And so that's one of the things I want to do, and I understood that I needed to put my processes in place before the year happened, so I can, have a jump start. But yeah, numbers don't lie, you know. Hey, I want to be part of the 34. I want to be part of the 10. What the 10 percenters making, so. And but what it does, it makes you look at life differently, because understanding that they still live paycheck to paycheck, sometimes I'll be like, ain't no way I made that much money and I'm still struggling. Well, yeah, there is a way, but I had to pat myself on the back for doing it on my own, right? We don't know how to give ourselves our accolades, because all we see is what didn't happen, rather than, hey, you you doing this. I've been doing taxes for 23 years. I see other people income, and I was like, you should be proud of yourself, Latoya. Something that I don't do very often with me. I don't give myself praise. So, yep.
Well, that's awesome. I love the trajectory you're on, and I know you're going to hit that and even exceed that. So, what is one thing that you can do to encourage someone who is necessarily like on the fence, like, I want to do this, but I can't, or they're in that procrastination state? What can you tell them to get out there?
Stop looking at the bigger picture and just look at the first step, right? Every goal is made by step one, right? So if we need to go to the store, we don't get to the store without first walking out our door. It takes us getting up out the bed and taking the first step towards the door, right? So it's the same with goals in life. There's no such thing as a goal that's too big. Is only too big for people that don't believe. But if you believe in it, it can happen, right? You can manifest it. um you can look at the overall picture, but when you create your goals, it needs to be broken down into smaller steps. So what you're doing is you're focusing on what's the first step toward that bigger goal, and that's all you do, that's all you worry about, that's all you focus on. Because what's going to happen is you're going to look back and you're going to see, dang, you 10 steps into your goal process, oh, I'm 25 steps in, and before you know it, you'll hit your goal. And sometimes your goal is not achieved in 3 weeks, sometimes it's 3 years, sometimes it's 10 years, but you've done it, right? You set your goals. A goal doesn't have to come off the table. If life happens, it may not have happened by the time frame that you wanted it, but it doesn't have to come off that page. I have goals that I had set, and it took me years to achieve it because things kept happening, but I never took the goal off the paper, right? And so, don't get discouraged. It all starts with a step, and that's what you should be taking, steps. What happens is, once you take a certain amount of steps and surround yourself with the right tribe, and you network the way that you should network in professional and personal development, and then you're going to find yourself taking leaps and bounds, because things, once they start moving, it's like a snowball. It starts off slow and then it accelerates, and then things can happen really, really fast. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really good that you said that, especially, and that's what I was leading to into this year, including the I Am Academy, because I'm like, usually I'm like, new year, new goals, get your vision boards out, but I'm like, go get your vision board that you had last year, because there's stuff still on there. There's still stuff that God already stamped, approved, that you have not moved on, and it's not necessarily time to add more stuff. It's time to look at what you have. Don't be leaving. Don't be launching and leaving. Okay, you didn't launch
Mhm.
this, and now you didn't left it alone. You haven't, got the momentum. So that's where I am. Also, I am
Mhm.
using my vision board from last year, because there's still some stuff on there that I started that the Lord wants me to go ahead and push through by any means necessary
Mhm.
to get it done.
They have some people that don't, nothing on their vision board has come to pass yet. We have a problem with getting in our own way. Number one, get discouraged. Let me tell you something real quick. Um, Sometimes it be the closest people to us, um, friends, family, whoever, that being very conservative and they trying to keep it real. They discourage your dreams. Well, that's gonna be too hard. You need a regular job. You can't do that. That's too much. That costs too much money. Okay, I need you to disassociate yourself from those people when you're trying to accomplish your goals and your dreams. Sometimes some things are not meant to tell everybody. You have to keep it to you. Your dream is not their dream, and they may be giving you what sounds like great advice, but it's based on their mindset, and your mindset may be different, or you want something different or need something different. You feel it, you just don't quite know what it is. And the thing is, they can't help you with a journey that they ain't never been on. So with that being said, you have to be very careful who you talk to and who you surround yourself with, because this is not their journey, it's yours. And um your journey is a very lonely journey, and the closer you get to the top, the more alone you are. Okay, it's okay. They have the people that say she act like she forgot what she can. I ain't forget, but you ain't, this not your journey. I ain't supposed to bring you with me.
Okay,
You're
you
not being
preaching,
selfish.
Latoya. Go ahead on and preach now,
Well,
girl.
it's the truth. These are some things that I found over time, and you're gonna lose people along the way. It's okay. You are going to be okay. This is about your happiness, about your fulfillment, about you living your life's purpose, not their life's purpose, not appeasing people, not being a yes person. Okay, no is my favorite word. I'm okay with it. They might not like it. They gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? So um understand that it can get lonely. You talk to people that have the same way of thinking. If you're the smartest person in the room, you need another room, right? And it's not for the weak. It's not. It's hard. It doesn't matter if it's a personal goal. It's not easy. It's easier to give up. And so you find yourself stagnant, you find yourself in the same place, and you're trying to figure out why. You know why. You don't have to ask anyone that question. You already know. So hey, this is to changing mindset this year, right? Changing mindset, changing your circle. It should be small. you know, I know a lot of people, but my circle is small, and so yeah, that's just advice from just my personal journey. I lost a lot of people, and it's hard because it has you questioning who you are. Like, was I a little too mean? Or a lot of times we keep ourselves connected with people because we feel like we're supposed to. I don't want to be the bad person, but this person ain't no good for you. This person been holding you back. This person hasn't agreed with nothing you've said in 10 years. Why they still there? You my ride or die. No, no, you're not. So yeah, it's okay to let things and people go. Matter of fact, most of the time you can't get to the next step, to the next season, because you're holding on to things that you're supposed to let go. God said they ain't supposed to be with you. So until you learn to let them go, you will not move to your next season.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We do have a comment here. Yvette, thank you for checking in. Yvette said, Happy New Year, ladies. And then she also said, See, this is what I just said, too much delusion. And then she also said dreams and goals need to be outlined and realized that they have often are not the same for people. And that's so true. And you said that. I mean, as you look at a hot air balloon, as it's going up, it has all those weights, but as it goes up higher, it throws them off. So not only people, like you were saying, our mindset, everything, it has to change. It has to change. So I love that, Latoya. You really ministered to me because this is exactly what we need as a community, because when we don't hear it from the people around us, we have to have that outlet to be able to hear these things like, I'm not tripping. And no, I'm not, I haven't forgot where I came from, but it's not where I'm going. So I'm going this way. I'm not necessarily looking back at that. And so this
Can't look back.
reminds me, I'm over here doing the Bible recap, reading the Bible in a year, and we're in the book of Job. And Job's friends are like telling him, like, yo, what you do? And he ain't do nothing. And so it's very important to have that growth mindset and be able to say, you know what, stand on the word of what you got.
Mm-hmm.
Go do what you're supposed to do, because you doing what you have to do, even though that's a personal goal to get the 100K, but how many people are you going to bless with that 100K?
That's part of my manifestations. I manifest every single day. And part of it is thank you for blessing me. Thank you for blessing my bank account to be abundant. It's no number on it. It's just thank you for the abundance in my bank account. But thank you for abundantly blessing me to where I can bless others. Right? I don't put a number on it. And look, they have days when I'm down to my last, but I'm still able to help people in ways, right? So I understand that their abundance is not necessarily a certain number, but I also want to acknowledge that I'm going to use that to help other people, in whatever types of ways, that my bank account is also within me, right? So my knowledge, my skills is part of that bank account that I can bless others with. So I acknowledge that. But yeah, we can't turn around. What was the lady in the Bible? We gonna turn to a pillar of salt.
Lot's
Yeah,
wife.
yeah,
Don't be
we ain't
that.
doing
Don't
that.
do that.
My friend literally used that biblical reference with me a couple weeks ago. Something happened. I look back. He said, "Now look, I told you don't look back, and here you go. So you gonna turn into that pillar of salt because you don't trust me." I was like, look at him being preachy, but you
Okay.
know,
He
but it's the
worried about
truth
his
though.
sugar. He want his sugar to be sugar and not salt. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't
But
nothing wrong with that sugar.
so yeah, we have to keep our eyes on the prize, and I tell people, you like a racehorse, you have blinders on, right? So the racehorses have blinders so they can stay focused on that path. With the blinders, you can't look to your left, you can't look to your right. It literally forces you to focus on what's in front of you only. And so when we go through life, when we setting our goals or going through our journeys, when we're going through our storm, you have to have your blinders on, because we can't worry about what Sue doing over here, and we can't worry about what Jack doing on the other side. Because a lot of people compare themselves to people, they fall short, right? Well, if you ain't worried about what they doing, no comparison. The only person you should compare yourself to is who you was yesterday versus who you are today, right? You're the only person you need to compare yourself to, and a lot of people fall short because of that. They can't focus on their journey because they too worried about other people. Well, she got 100 views on her live video and I only had 3 people. Why you worried about that? Last week you had 0. Let's celebrate the 3, right? But that video is up. Like, you ain't deleted. So if you actually go look at your insights, you see 1,500 people actually came across your video while you were still alive. Some people, they so confounded by the wrong, they get distracted with the wrong things instead of focus. Why? Who cares about that girl that got the 100 views? Maybe she been doing it longer. Maybe she has a bigger network. Maybe we don't know why, but it doesn't matter, because what that girl do don't affect you, right? You got to have your blinders on and stay focused. Stay focused. Yep.
Yes, and that's a good one, because sometimes being women, we do have that spirit of comparison, which we're all unique. We all bring something unique to this world. The people that you're going to come encounter with, I may have never even come encounter with them. So they're being helped by you. I'm helping people over here. And that's the thing. We got to keep the main thing, the main thing. And whenever we're getting this word for the year or phrase for the year or even scripture for the year, whatever that is that you're going to focus on, you cannot forget your why. And like you said, with those blinders, that's going to keep the why right there, like right in front of your face. Because once you start forgetting the why, then you're taking the blinders off, because now you're looking at over here at somebody else, and there's no comparison. We're two different people. We're all individuals. We all bring something great to the world. And so I appreciate everything you're saying, because this is all that I was going to talk about today, is our word and our purpose, and just to stay focused on it, and not necessarily being forced or going with culture saying, okay, it's a new year, new me, and it's the same old you, because you're going to stop doing whatever you're going to say you're doing in February and revert back. So what is going to keep you focused on continuing going? And Sherry said she could not make the live, but she said that her word was intentional. And I think that is so huge, because when we know our intent behind what we're trying to do, we're going to do it. And that goes back to the why. So it's all connected. And so there's no perfect word, but choose the word that definitely is going to speak to you, and that's going to keep you motivated and even encouraged when you're not motivated, right? Because there are times, right, you don't feel like doing a live. There's a time where you don't feel like doing a post, but then that's where the discipline and that why comes in to say, okay, we're going to go ahead and push through. So I love that, by any means necessary. I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. What else you got for the sisters to know about?
Okay, so I see where you're going. All right. So when it came to the pod, I'm still definitely doing a podcast. It was the lit small details that was holding me back. So I'm approaching it from a different way, just to get content out there, period. So I'm gonna start with just audio. So I was gonna reach out to you. I knew you took December off, so I wanted to reach out to you to help me with that. And just audio, and just go from there, just to have some sound bites out there, whatever. But with that is going to come the book club, and the book club may even be out there before some of the sound bites. So the name of the podcast and the book club is going to be called I'm Just Saying. Those of you who know me know I love me some books, right? I'm an extremely avid book reader. And so um like I said, the podcast and book club is going to go hand in hand. But with the book club, we'll have one specific book that everyone reads that month. But I'm going to be talking about other books that I've read, or I'm reading. It's going to be reviews, and we're going to talk to authors, all that good stuff, right? But this book club is just for people that enjoy books, whether you get to read them or not, right? Because I have a specific way of talking about books. And it's just like, basically, if I'm talking to my best friend about something I saw in Walmart, that's how I talk about books. And people told me that it's entertaining, so hey, I'm gonna use that. And we're gonna start a new book club, so it's gonna be before the end of this month, when try to get some people in it, and then we'll start with a February book. I'm traveling the first week of February, so first week and a half of February I'll be traveling. But before the end of this month, it'll be official, at least the book club part. And then the podcast is just going to come naturally with me talking about things that I read, right? And like I said, even if it's short sound bites, not a whole episode, or some people, what I've learned through my research is some episodes are actually very short, right? And so I said, however I have to start it, and then I can layer and add on. It's just been difficult because of the new job, which I didn't realize is it's about to be 7 months. The new job, I do taxes. Tax season just started, my jewelry business, all that, trying to make it fit, trying to figure out when am I going to have time for this, that. So trying to make it fit. And I think I came up with a good plan. And that was part of my preparation the last couple of months, making it fit. And so I can start the year off a certain way. And so,
yeah, I'm excited about that.
yeah.
I'm excited about that. And I support you with this, because you are right. Content is going to be coming out of your ears, because you are very creative already, and you're talking about something that you love to do. And it's contagious. I have to be honest with you. It's contagious, because I'm like, oh, I'm usually, self-help, Brene Brown, this and that. You got me over here reading about thrillers, psychological thrillers. I want to use the right words, but these are books, Facebook, that we talking about. We is books, but
look,
psychological thriller, I'm just gonna sit it right there, and then you look it up and figure it out. But I was never into all that. Now all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, what's this? Who did this? Who did? So I love that
stories,
for you.
That's why I like all types. I have my preference of genres, but I like all types because I love a good story, right? So it doesn't matter if it's sci-fi, or fantasy, or a psychological thriller, or a self-help book, right? I love good stories, period. And so, and because of that, you're going to see a wide variety of things being discussed on that page, right? I did create a page, wondering if I should go to a group, but I think I'm going to keep it as a page. But yeah, I think this can be good. And I think 2023 is going to be the grassroots building of the club. And I think by next year, it'll have a good foundation. I don't think it's going to take me a year to start implementing all the stuff I want to do, but I think I have a really good foundation. I don't know if you see some of my posts, the comments that I get under my posts. People are really interested. They don't even know the book club coming. Some of them do now, but they didn't even know this was in the works. So I get a lot of good, positive feedback on any post concerning books. So yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I be over there in them comments. I'm like, oh, hey, me over here.
Yeah, and I get a lot of good recommendations. A lot of people like, hey, you should read this, you should read that. So, and that makes it even better, because sometimes they put me in a genre that I don't usually read. So yeah.
We got another Latoya B in the house. We got Latoya Bilbo. She said, obedience and surrender. To be obedient, we must surrender. To surrender, we must be obedient. He gave me that before the new year. It started then. My obedience and surrender will release manifestation. Amen and amen. And I keep on hearing that. I've been hearing messages lately about being obedient, like that slow obedience is not obedience.
It's true. I 100% agree with you, Latoya. I feel like I started making major moves in my spiritual journey when I stopped fighting against what he put me here for. When I stopped fighting against it, I was fighting hard because I was being told very clearly that I was put here to help people. And I was trying to explain to him, but dude, I don't even like people. pretty sure I don't. I'm pretty sure I don't like people. And but he was like, but hey, but that's what I said though. And when I finally just threw my hands up and was like, fine, I things started changing. Things started changing in ways that I could not explain other than this is a supernatural thing that's happening in my life. It can't be put into words. And it's very clear where it came from. Am I disobedient at times? Absolutely. I'm learning. I'm becoming a certain type of person. But when I stopped fighting it and said, okay, I come to you as I came in this earth bare with nothing, right? I need you to guide me because what happens is we get to a certain point in our life where we tired. We tired of struggling. We tired of going through certain things. We tired of certain types of relationships. We are tired, but we spend our whole life going against what he said, you know. And so when we at a place where we block out the noise and we are still and we listening for his voice and we can actually hear it because we let all that other stuff go, it can be life changing. Obedience is key though. Our tongues are extremely powerful. Manifestation is very real. People, they are not careful with what they say, you know. And but that I 100% agree with you with the obedience, um especially when directly related to manifestation, and then being obedient to him is very hard because we are tempted by the ways of the world, and the ways of the world are not necessarily bad things that can get us thrown in jail, but it may not be the best for our spiritual whatever, right? And so you know and I'm a prime example. When I say I go through stuff all the time, oh man, I don't even know how people look up to me as a mentor, because I'm making mistakes every single day. There's 0 days that go by that I don't be like, I knew I shouldn't have done it. I knew I should. I know better, but because I know better, I am consciously trying to do better. And what I used to do, I used to really beat myself up when I would make mistakes or I would go on these long benders of not being obedient, long benders, right? Because it feels better when we do what we want to do. We love our free will, because doing what he asks us to do sometimes is very hard. And so we feel real good when we doing what we want. The problem is we go come down off that high, and then all the consequences that come along with it, they go be slapping us in our face, and you can't run away from it. You can try to run away for a while, but it's gonna come back full circle, and it's gonna be staring you in your face, and you have to face these things head on, right? And then um you're gonna have to have that, come into reality type talk with yourself. And so, with that being said, it's like, I used to beat myself really bad. We can't do that. You have to give yourself grace. Now, that doesn't mean you go out there, do what you want, and be like, look, I'm gonna ask for forgiveness when I'm done. No, 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 no. No, not like that. But we are men, we do have free will. Our flesh can be tempted all this, and it is tempted every day. The enemy is here to kill, steal, and destroy. He do a very good job at it. And sometimes it happens and we don't realize it's happening. But, you know, um, we have to work just that much harder to try to stay on track. So, yeah, I absolutely agree with all of that, all that stuff. But I'm
And
just
and
telling
it's
all my
worth it
business.
in the long run. It's worth it, and that's the thing. We can't be so consumed by the temporary satisfaction. And I know we're in a quick, fast, instant society, microwave society, but some things you got to put in the oven. Some things, when you warm it up, you gotta put it in the oven because it's gonna be so much better. We can't be just so everything right now, right now, right now. Because if we got everything right now, it wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't be worth the sacrifice. It wouldn't be worth
Mm-hmm.
pushing through and to really persevere. And that's the thing. You can be uh when you persevere, is that you're going through the difficult part. Because it's good to be consistent when anything ain't going on. Okay, the weather's good, the kids acting right, my man doing right, like everything good. You can be consistent. But then when those difficult things, that's when that perseverance comes, because it's
Mm-hmm.
difficult. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard now. Things
Mm-hmm.
going every which way, everything's sparking up. So when you're able to persevere, that's when you're gonna really say, okay, that's what I can do. And you're gonna be even stronger. Your legs are gonna be there. You're gonna go from crawling to walking to running. And then, like you said, Latoya, you're gonna be leaping and bounding. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what? You're gonna be 100K, 500K. Next thing you know, Latoya gonna be saying, I'm a millionaire. And I'm gonna be like, you know what? I was there. Look, I'll
Mm-hmm.
be over here. I was there when
Mm-hmm.
she hit her first 100K. So I am proud of you, and I appreciate you taking the time out on a Saturday to come in on the I
Thank you.
Academy. And
Look. I just looked at the time and I was like, I got whatever on. I ain't
that's
got
okay.
no.
Look, we both got on white shirts today. Come on, locks. Come on, the locks are still locking. They your locks
They
are
coming.
looking good.
They
They're
coming
hanging.
through.
Okay, come on, locks. Come.
They coming through. I said, okay. I had to get this out my face because my hair is just so much.
Yes, come
So
on,
even though
locks.
it's shorter, but y'all, if you know where I started, I had a mohawk. I had nothing on the sides. I had nothing in the back at all.
Now
Now,
look at you. Okay,
yeah,
okay. You better be touching your back. Come on, shake, 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 shake.
I'm like, okay, come on now. But it's look, this a journey too, and this brings up a good story. This is all right. This is why you have to track your goals and you have to track your progress. This is why when you create a goal, you want to make sure it's smart. The M stands for measurable, right? Because you don't know how far a lot of times you come way further than you think, but you don't have anything to look back at, so you don't really know, right? Because we looking for the big stuff. Sometimes it's the little small things that add up. So my hair, I didn't realize how much it grew because I forgot. I knew where I started at. In my mind, it's like I know I ain't had nothing on the back and the sides, and I know it was short at the top, but it took me seeing a picture. And I was like, dang, I really ain't had. And it was so much growth literally within a 1 year. So this has been like a year and a half now, right? But I did not see the true growth until I was able to look back and see where I was. Right. So this is why it's very, very important to write these things down, y'all. If you don't have anything to look back on, you won't know your true progress. You won't know. But yeah, it be
Absolutely.
getting on my nerves though. And I made a hair appointment today. It ain't for a couple of weeks, but I was like, okay, I got to get this out my face.
Yeah, it's the
But,
best journey that I've ever did for my hair. It's the best thing that I ever
mhm,
did to my hair. And the only regret I have is that I didn't start it early enough. That's it.
mhm,
That's it. I should have started when I thought about it or when I saw. But Latoya Bilbo is actually one of the inspirations for me starting as well. Her and a few other my classmates, I saw them and I'm like, can I pull that off? Could I? And here I am pulling it off.
yeah. And I was like, okay, if it's here, and mind you, this is kind of crinkly because I had it in a style and I took it down. Um, But I'm like, if it's here and it's only been a year and a half, imagine what next year, where it's gonna be next year. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, come on, locks, come through. And look, the a lock journey is literally an extremely clear example of life, right? Because when you first start that transition, especially if you started like me with you, it's really funky, hair different lengths, and you got to go through that ugly phase, and you like questioning this every day. They had a couple of times I was like, I'm just gonna comb this out. I can't, right? That seriously, that's how life is. You have to go through the ugly phases. You have to go through that transition period, right? Because while we fix ourselves from the inside first, and then it shows up on the outside. And
Yeah.
so, we have to go through this funky phase when we have to face all our all the bad parts of ourself, right? While we're transitioning into this new person,
Yeah.
right? And it's not so cute. And sometimes you just want to say, man, forget this.
Yeah.
I made a joke
Look,
today.
let me go get my wig because my thing was hiding behind the swoop. Like I'm gonna have a
Mhm.
swoop. Now look at me, hair all back, forehead all showing. What?
Look, don't. But what happens is you start to learn to love it. So even when it might be looking crazy to someone else, people with locks, they good. They like, okay, come on, sis. But even if it ain't looking great to someone else, you love it. You love everything about it, and nobody can tell you about your hair. Period. Boo, you don't know what I had to go through to get to this point, and I love it. When you look in the mirror, you love every single strand on your head. That's our same journey of self-love,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
We hate a lot of parts of ourselves, but when we work on ourselves to a certain extent, it gets to the point where we truly love ourselves so absolutely much. It don't matter what people try to, it don't even phase us. We know and when you know something about yourself, nobody cannot use it against you, right? So you got a big nose. Duh. Hey, I can look in the mirror and see that. You ain't hurting me saying that, right? So when you eh, on your self-love journey, you literally have to call yourself out for the things that are not so great about you and be okay with it, right? If it's something you could change, you need to change it. If this is just that personality, that little quirk that you have, be good with it. People can only hurt you with the truth. But if you love all the truths about yourself, they can't hurt you, right? They can't hurt you at all. So it, man, hair, great analogy for life. And when it comes to those storms, it's a cloud. Clouds move and clouds dissipate. A storm cloud cannot hover over your head forever. It has to move, right? It has to move on. It's going to eventually dissipate. Sun gonna come out. Gonna have a cute little rainbow and stuff. You gonna have all it, right? But you have to endure the storm. But it will pass, like they say. This too shall pass. It moves. A storm cloud doesn't stay in one place forever, ever.
Yeah, that's true. And that rainbow is our promise that what? You still good. I'm still gonna be with you. So I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you for sharing, Latoya. And whatever your word is this year, ladies, lean into it. Lean into it. And don't feel pressured by society, by culture to have to start up something new and da 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 da. Like, I wanted to come into this new year with rest. I wanted to come into this new year with ease. I ain't got no pressure. I mean, I ain't holding myself to supernatural strength because that's my word, Godfidence. Because I got confidence in God that I can't do it. He gonna do the heavy lifting, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to do the heavy lifting. That's why I got shoulder pain, back pain, neck pain. I'm about to let God, like Latoya even said too, obedience and surrender. So whatever your word is, lean into it and just make it happen. You can do it. You can do it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I said I couldn't stay long.
All right. Well,
I
thank
got
you so
I
much.
got
Uh-oh.
18 missed calls right now because I'm not lying. I'm so serious. But that's only because I had started something. I was like, "Ooh, I was supposed to be in a meeting. I'm gonna come right back." But I'm glad I got to talk to you guys. I'm gonna see you guys many more times over the course of this year. Y'all know where to reach me, hopefully. And I'm gonna head out only because I have to go. But I love y'all. Y'all have a great and awesome year. This, it's the beginning of a whole new person, right? We're not just renewing our spirit. We totally reinventing ourselves, right? All right. Love y'all.
All right. Thank you, Latoya. I appreciate that. And that is the conclusion of our first. Well, no, this is our second YouTube video. So you can also find us on YouTube. You can get the replay, and I'll put all that information. And here is cheers to a new year. You're gonna fulfill the things you need to do. Make the plan now. Put it on paper. Write it in your notes. However you need to do it, but do it, do it, do it. I love you all, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.